Hi, I'm Susanna. I'm an indie author and a freelance book formatter. My debut novel Katie is a modern retelling of Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey, and I've also self-published an urban fantasy short story In the Shadow of Death. Both are available on Amazon, and the short story is also available on other ebook retailers. Today I'm doing the Authors Are Weird tag. I saw Emma Bennett do this tag a couple of months ago. I'll leave a link to her video in the description. It looked fun, so I decided to do my own take on this challenge. There are 10 questions, and the first one is: do you have bizarre internet searches, and if so, what's the weirdest one? I think we all have bizarre internet searches, but I'm not sure what counts as bizarre enough. For Project Prehistory, which is my current work in progress, I've done a lot of research. So I've googled things like birds and plants in Eurasia, how to make linen, how to nab flint, how to steam bend wood, how much does a pine tree weigh, and how much can one person drag. Just a hint of some of the things my main character gets up to. Also, because I'm not a native English speaker, I Google a lot of words and phrases and expressions just to see that they are grammatically correct and used by native speakers. I especially struggle with prepositions, so I always have to check those. But I think the weirdest and also weirdly the most useful thing that I've googled is how to walk silently in a forest. My main character is a hunter, so he obviously needs to know how to do that. That internet search became 2 sentences in the novel, but more importantly, it also taught me how to stop yourself from sneezing. If you feel like a sneeze is coming, all you have to do is press your upper lip between your nostrils and it will go away. Weirdly enough, it works. You're welcome. The second question is: do you write people you know and dislike into your story as villains or dumb people to kill off? No, because the people I dislike don't deserve that honor, and none of my characters are based on real people anyway. The next question is: does personal hygiene sometimes come second to writing? What? No, of course not. Besides, you can get really great ideas in the shower. Question number 4. Do you go on baby name websites to help you name your characters? That depends on the book. In Project Prehistory, all the names are made up. Although some names are actually Sumerian words. My characters do not speak Sumerian, but I thought it would be fun to have random Sumerian words as names. For Katie and for my Pride and Prejudice retelling, which are both contemporary novels, I first decided how old my characters were. And then I searched for names that were common in the decades my characters were born in. I found that information on the United States Social Security Administration's website, so it's based on census data. For those projects, I didn't go to baby name websites. But there's one other project which I have on hold, let's call it Project Urban Fantasy, where I did use baby name websites. For that project, I first wrote down a list of names that I liked and then checked the meaning of those names. Because for that project, I decided that I wanted at least some of the characters to have names that fit their character or the role they played in the story. That's not something that I would want to do for every project, but I thought it would be fun for that particular book. The next question is: do you have a list of actors and actresses that would play your characters if there was an adaptation made? No, simply because I don't watch enough movies to know any actors. And especially for Project Prehistory, we would be talking about child actors anyway, because the main characters are 10 at the beginning of the book and 15 at the end of it. For Katie, we would be talking about teen actors or actors in the early 20s. So maybe some up-and-coming actress could play Katie, but I can't think of any names. Question number 6. Have you ever stared at a stranger because they look like one of your characters? Also no, I don't really have an idea what my characters look like. I maybe know their hair color and eye color, but not any of their facial features or anything else. I just can't see characters of any book. I can see settings, but I cannot imagine what characters look like. Next question. Do you talk to yourself to help work through scenes? And if so, where do you talk to yourself? I do talk to myself, but not aloud. Although I could, I live alone, so no one would know. Question number 8. While writing, do you make the expressions your characters are making? Sometimes, but usually I don't first write the expression and then try to replicate it. More often I try to think about first what the character's emotion is. Like, let's say that they are disappointed. Now, what would disappointment feel like? How would that show itself? And then I would try to find a way to describe that feeling or expression with words. Although I admit quite often I just resort to the emotions as source. Question number 9. Do you ever practice answering interview questions in case you make it big? Not so much interview questions for making it big, but I do practice for what a potential agent might ask me. I'm planning on querying Project Prehistory next year, so I'm preparing for the admittedly very unlikely scenario that an agent is interested in the book. And I don't know, maybe we would have a Zoom meeting or something and talk about the book. So I'm thinking about what I would tell an agent about myself and my book. So it's more like practicing for a job interview than a publicity interview, if that makes sense. And the final question is, do you have a soundtrack and or playlists for your book or scenes from your book? No, I have a general playlist which has all my favorite songs, and I listen to that playlist all the time, both when I'm writing and editing and while I'm doing other things. I think I am weird in the sense that a lot of writers say that they cannot listen to music with lyrics, that they have to listen to instrumental music. I'm able to listen to music with lyrics even while I'm writing. I might sometimes take a break to listen to a really great song, but I just consider that a creative break. But usually I'm not distracted by the lyrics. If I had to name a theme song for Project Prehistory, it took me a long time to find one, but there is a verse in Alanis Morissette's Wake Up that goes, "There's an apprehensive naked little trembling boy with his head in his hands, and there's an underestimated and impatient little girl raising her hand." That's my characters in a nutshell. I also think that my male main character's theme song would be The Rose by Bette Midler, but I don't have a theme song for my female main character. Those were all the questions. This was fun. Let me know in the comments about your bizarre internet searches, and I'll see you in my next video.